Okay. UPS just came. And I got some stuff from, it's Mail Supply, Cleveland, Ohio. This is step van parts. Good website. They got the parts that you need. They give you this little thing to go with it. They got a lot of good parts in here. They've got all kinds of fan parts, radiator parts, HVAC, entertainment for your step van needs. My need for step van is this, or this. Any part number? Actually, there's on 4BT swaps, there's someone doing an 82 F100. They're doing pretty much the exact same conversion that I'm doing. 4BT, same engine, same setup, same horsepower and everything. In fact, even the same ZF5 that I'm going for. And he bought these. He didn't say where he got them, but these, you know, are the same that he was using. And I figured he probably got them from Step Van as well. They're they don't appear to be passenger or driver side. They're all pretty much just, you know, the same. They're made in Korea. Made by Anchor Industries Incorporated. We've got two here. They're $8 a piece, $15 for shipping. Walked away with 30 bucks. Yeah, 30 bucks. Now let's see what the packing slip invoice is. I gotta put this in with my taxes. Let's see, it was $14 for both mounts. I paid no money for tax. $15.84 for shipping. Ended up being $30.50. So that's a good deal. So we've got two mounts. These are Cummins 2i6 frame stands, and we're getting the frame stands tomorrow. And then I think Thursday I'm getting my oil pan gasket. So when all that gets here, and if I sell my engine today or tomorrow, I'm going in and ordering a bunch of parts to go with the engine. So we're going to finish it, resealing it, put new fuel pump and everything on it. And then maybe Thursday we'll hear it run. Potentially. That guy is sold. Sold to the highest bidder, $600. Anyways, this guy here, I got our anchors, our Anchor brand motor mounts secured. I went to Ace Hardware and bought some nuts. I forgot the size. I thought it was like a 1/2 by 13 threads per inch. I think that's what it was. It's the same size as the nuts that Ford used to hold the other side of the motor mount on. So I'm using the nuts that went onto this stud here on the V8 motor mount. They're literally the same threads. They made those motor mounts to work with the Ford nuts, is what it looks like to me. Or it's just a coincidence. And I got this one. This side here is a bitch because the motor mounts are made, you know, they're just, you know, one design. It's not designated for passenger side, designated for driver side. So they're made one way. And the way this one on the passenger side goes on puts these little tabs, which I think are for keeping this from compressing all the way. I'm not entirely sure what this is for, but that's what I think it is. But it gets right in the way of that bolt. You see that? So what you have to do is, with this bracket loose, you have to run that down and get as tight as you possibly can get it. And then this bolt here has to be in as far as it possibly can go. So it's kind of hard to explain, but you'll figure it out if you ever come to this route, if you're doing a Ford and you're using these brackets. But I used a pair of vice grips and got that as tight as possible. But even if it does come loose, it will never come out all the way. And then these other two I tightened down with this ratchet, and they're on the sizes on these bolts are 3/4. Yeah, 3/4, and I use my pipe there to really put some torque on it, so they're locked down pretty good on both sides. But I'm using a locking nut. Again, I think it's like a half by 13 threads per inch. So yeah, that's what we're doing for motor mounts. It was like well, these nuts here were free because I came with the V8, and then these were like 59 cents a piece at Ace Hardware, and they do lock, and these things were very tight. I had to hold this mount very firmly because otherwise it just wanted to spin. So that should never come undone, and if it does, I will be amazed, especially if it gets rusted on there. So we've got that taken care of. We're going to the junkyard tomorrow, and we're going to pull an inline 6 out of an F-150 and grab the frame stands that those sit on. And the ones that we're looking for are a pre-86 or pre-87. They're at an angle like this, so it's the same angle that these mounts are on, and it'll allow the engine to sit in there properly. If you go any newer, they went to one side's like this, and then the other side is like that, and they use the liquid filled mounts on those engines, or at least that's what it looked like, or what I was reading. So they went to a goofy design after that, and you can't use those stands. They won't work unless you made your own brackets and use different mounts. Yeah, you can make it work, but this here is the best way to go because it's a bolt and go. I mean, really all I had to do is go back to the guy that sold me the engine. I bought these brackets from him because he had a lot of these motors, and I paid like 40 bucks for the mounts, and then I paid 30 bucks to get the rubber mounts, and then I'm gonna pay like $5 to get the plates. And I'll show you where they go. So one plate is gonna be like right here, and it's gonna got holes here for them. Taking the bolts too because I don't want to buy any more bolts. And then you got another one that comes from here and that covers up this hole, which is where your oil filter would normally go. And then that bolts into here, bolts into there, and then your Cummins comes in here, and the two mounts on the side go, and then you run it down, and then you mount your transmission. Now I measured my C6 and measured it against the ZF5 that I can't use but have, and it's like an inch difference, so I might get away with possibly, I don't know, can I zoom in and get a look at this? Because right in there there's like there's 3 holes. Yeah, there's why does it look like one is covered up? Now, there's a lot of holes there, but I think if it's a little bit longer. God, I'm trying to think if it's like a ½ inch longer, I think is what it was. So I might all I have to do is just drill new holes possibly, and then it'll all go in there. So I may not have to move that cross member back. I was reading somewhere you have to do that, but my measurements are like within a ½ inch difference. So we'll see. If we just have to drill holes, that's cool. Drill holes and drop it in, and then I can reuse the nuts for the transmission, which I need to retrieve. I know one's under there. I don't know where the other one went. Oh, I see it. So I got the transmission nut still, so. Alrighty, we got some parts. We got our new rear main seal, which I was kind of digging with and shouldn't have, but it'll be fine. It has this plastic installation thing on it. And this seal said not to use a repair sleeve. So that's cool. I'm good with that, and it looks like it's an install dry, like all the other seals have been. But so we're gonna do that in a second. I just test fitted it. It looks like it's the same one, so that's good. It's for a 6BT. You just got to make sure, this is a slightly different engine. It's missing 2 cylinders. Some certain things are different about it. So you just got to make sure that the seals that you get for it work. So again, I bought it for a Dodge truck, 5.9, 88 to 93. This motor's in between those years, so we're good there. Comes with this. Let's see. Yeah, must be installed dry. Do not lubricate seal lip or the crankshaft. Okay, that's cool. If it says not to lubricate it, I will not lubricate it. And it came with a new backing gasket, new hold down gasket. So the one that's on there now is RTV. So I'm going to utilize my Ford temperature sensor. Hang on. This guy here, this is brand new. Just bought for the 5.8. So I want to utilize this so I can minimize having to cut up my current wiring harness that I put together. I actually am going to use the Dodge, or actually the Cummins, sorry, pressure sensor, oil pressure sensor. So I modified this little end here, and it just smashes in there, and it's real nice and snug and goes in there just fine. So tuck that back up in there. So that's hooked up. So we'll have oil pressure. Now, this has got some crap in there from being plugged up all these years. I'll probably get in there with some compressed air, blast that out, and then once we get this thing running, it'll get flushed out with the garden hose. But this guy here, it's too small. So I bought a fitting, as you see there. It's a little hex head bushing. This is the size I bought. Get you up on the tripod here. I didn't want to have to use the Dodge sensor because it has a 2-prong thing, and I don't know how that's going to work with my 1-prong thing. So if I can use the original Ford wiring, hey, that's cool. So this here, 7/8 hex head, it goes right in there, nice and smooth. Put some tape stuff on it. And we'll just run it down until you can't run it down anymore. Looks like I'll just bottom it out, really. Yep, just gonna run it in there until it bottoms out. Okay, there we go, that's in there. All the way, nice and snug. This should never leak. Our water will get in there and touch our sensor here. So, grab my towel. I know I said I was going to show the motor mount that I just kind of temporarily put on here. I'll show you those in a sec. I'm going to clean this thing up so it looks brand new again. I literally bought this just a few months ago. And it was working really well when I took it out. This one here is going to go to a lot different size. I'll get a socket for that. This temperature sensor is an 11/16. Put some thread stuff on it. I had it on it before, but we need to do a fresh layer. So now this there. I'll run this in as far as we can go. It looks like we're just going to bottom this one out too. I think that's going to have to do. It won't be too hard to tighten it back up if it happens to leak. And then, voila!